Now, when we give our request, when we give our APIs to the customers, what they tend to do, normally they tend to do is they tend to remove some of the part which they don't understand, which really they don't understand, like what value should be passed in here. So they will just remove that. And what they will do is, in order to fill out this space, they'll copy this complete thing, copy it and paste it here, and they try to click on save and send it. So it will not be working for them. I mean, this is a dummy project, so that is the reason it is working. But to be honest, this will not be working at their end. So make sure when you're testing, remove some part and then place it over in that I mean, place other data in that removed part and test it. It should not give you the proper response. It should say that it should throw an error, any error which has been documented, that should throw stating that some of the part information is missing. And there might be some mandatory fields, mandatory in the sense those should be filled in. Those should be filled in. If those fields are deleted and then you run the request, still it is giving a proper response, then that is an invalid. Then you should raise the bug. How we would know that these notes are mandatory is all written in the documentation. In documentation you will find that this is the node which is mandate, and you have to fill in the information over there. Hmm, how? Yeah. So that is where our API testing comes into picture. Like we have to think uh, completely out of the box. They say out of the there's nothing called as out of the box. Yeah, we have to be very weird when we are testing. I mean, we should think in a weird way that okay, I can break this API. I mean, keep in mind that you should break the API. In that way you need to test. It might be anything. Okay, here ID is in lowercase. I can just say okay, I just want to give ID here. I want to give 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, and then save it, then run it. Still it's showing a 2 or not one created, but that is not correct because I'm changing something here which is not valid. Still I'm changing it, but still it is giving a proper response, which is not correct. So this is how, I mean, this is how API testing is all about. So when you're trying to write test cases for these small things, it's really difficult. You cannot write test cases. Oh, that is the reason. Create as request, duplicate them, and I can say explore them. Explore as much as you can. Test them as much as you can. And yeah, I mean, at last it will be developer who will be working really hard to fix this. But yes, you have to make their life really hard, I can say. Tester's job is to find bugs and make sure that you play with any APIs, play with any APIs, and then I think I can show one of the thing where I can bookstore is not working. Essentials. I think this should work. Those are tabs. Whether library. Okay, post books. Yes. Here, now what I can do here is let me copy this, cut it out, and paste it here. Let's see if it works or not. See, now do you see that? Can you see that it says string in JSON at position 60, which means we have changed the position. We have changed the position and okay, let me remove this comma and put the comma here. Okay, let me save it and let me see now. Oh, it created, but it should not create. It should say that, okay, this is not the right way. It should, this is all, I mean, what I can say, this is all like dummy APIs, but in real world, you will be facing these issues when you change something or delete this thing. Let me see, delete it and let me try now. Now we have, it says that body title, we need a body title. Now let me do one more thing. Let me keep it here. And genre, I can say 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Okay, save it and run it. See, we are getting some errors, right? Which means this thing should not be changed. If it gives a proper response, which means it is a bug. And when we come back and remove all this genre thing, save it, run it. Now it's okay. So this is how, I mean, you have to explore from your end, how far can you get in testing any API. Take one API, take any one API. It might be get or post or put or delete, any one API, and explore yourself. If you are having trouble in getting this, what to say, body thing, I mean, in finding the body thing, leave it, just don't go with the post request, go with the get request only, go with the get request, and see how far can you get in making the negative scenarios. How many negative scenarios can you create with one small get request? I mean, yeah, that is how API testing is all about. Same, it's same with any testing, but API testing, you don't need to write test cases. Duplicate them and create a new request and name it something which is respect to your negative testing, and then test it and see if the response is what you are expected. Uh, Always negative testing should give negative responses. It should never give a positive response. If it is giving a positive response, then go back to the developer and say him, please, can you fix this bug? So yeah, practice. I think you have created 4 requests in one of the folder. See how many negative scenarios can you create for all the 4. If you can, for all the 4, please, or at least try for get and delete. How many can you create? And yeah, this is how you have to practice.
Once we come with the post response that scripts, then we can find out few more like a response code,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That once we come into scripting, Mahesh, then we will be working on those scripts thing.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Now, actually, scripts, before running to scripts, we have to understand. We have to know like what all scenarios can be created.
yes, exactly.
Positive is fine. Positive, we get it from the documentation, and anyone can test positive. I mean, anyone, if you give to any person and ask him to, okay, copy the same which is in the documentation, and then run it and see if the response is correct. Like if I say, in here, if I ask someone, just copy this URL and copy this body, and then see if the response is 201 and if the response body is this. So he will do it. He will definitely do it. But what is the difference between an API tester and the person who is just checking this thing? Is when we do it, when we create our own negative scenarios. That is where we excel. That is where we differ from the no- from the a person, a normal person who is just checking this request and response thing. He's just checking. So it is always, we have to be very creative. We have to check, like in the same way, sandwich, how you have said, like how bad can you make a sandwich, like I mean, ingredients missing, or ingredients can go bad, or you can put spiciness, or you can put saltiness, or you can make the bread burnt out, or you can something else also. It was very interesting when I heard all those answers. So in the same way, you have to test APIs as well. Anyone can make a sandwich. Look at the YouTube, and you can, I think you can make a good sandwich, but it is really hard to think how bad can you make a sandwich. How bad can you make a sandwich? How how troublesome for a person to eat a sandwich, how bad can you make a sandwich? So that is where we come into picture, the API testers come into picture. Make sure that you explore your negative scenarios. That is a theoretical part, but here theory is 10%, but 90% of practical is what you do it at your end. Like if I show it here, as I showed yesterday, I think bookstore. Huh. This is okay. This is a positive one. Add user is a positive one. Then blank username password, invalid password, user addition duplicated. I mean, the user is already added and I'm adding it again. The same user with the same details. Then invalid username. Then invalid bearer token. This is just a scenario. This is just one of the scenarios. I mean, there might be n number of scenarios. Here I have missed invalid URL. Here I missed invalid, what they say, method. Yeah, different method. Like for post, I might have used get. So yeah, so this is how. Why exactly I'm stressing on this? Because this this will be your job when you are in your projects, testing the negative scenarios and checking out there's nothing missing. There's nothing wrong that is going on when you put the negative scenarios. It should not give a proper response. So your task, if you have time today, if you have time today or tomorrow till 8 o'clock, till tomorrow's 8 o'clock, um, I request you to add negative scenarios for at least get and delete. Okay, and I will be definitely. I'm saying I'll definitely check. I'll definitely check. Uh, any one of the computer, any one of I will ask to share, and I'm gonna check it, please, because this is really high time, and we have to start practicing. We have to start practicing.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, and JSON should always start with flower bracket and end with flower bracket, and it should be double quotes. Key value should be in double quotes. If there is a second line, then it should end with comma. So yeah, practice. That is all. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, Ashish, we will practice. Actually, I got a little late, so I will go through the content.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Completely fine. Completely fine. I'll be really happy if you all can practice and come up with something new negative scenarios which I never came across.
Okay. If anything, I face difficulty, I'll reach out to you.
Yeah. Sure. Anytime.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
you're welcome. So that is all for today. And I think I've provided the documentation. I've shared the documentation for the queries. And then, yeah, we will be completing manual testing soon. But before we jump into authentication, yeah, I mean, creating a workspace, creating a collection, adding requests to the collection should be should be done in a real quick manner, please. I expect at least that should be done in a real quick manner, because we are almost done. We are almost done. I mean, maybe if we are completing this revision sessions, it's mostly 3 to 4 sessions. Manual testing will be completed. That is the reason. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank
Bye.
you
Bye.
so much.